CAA Hoops fans, we are so lucky to be with Hofstra men's basketball coach Speedy Claxton today to recap what this last month has been like for not just him, but this entire Pride program experiencing March Madness. It's kind of crazy, coach, that we are almost a month removed from you guys winning the CAA title in DC against Monmouth for the program's second CAA title. Have you had the time to reflect on what that monumentous milestone not just means for you as an alum, but this entire program?
Yes and no, because it truly has been a whirlwind. It wasn't really only till like last week where I was kind of in my home gym working out, and then a song came on in the background talking about blessings, and then the words just resonated with me and what we went through, and I kind of just sat there and thought about everything and kind of came to tears because that's when it truly hit me like, yo, we finally did it.
It's really amazing in the weeks leading after that win in DC, the amount of support that you got, not just from the people on Long Island and the constant supporters of the program, but also the national attention. That's what really blew me away. Were there any interactions that stuck out to you of, oh my goodness, Hofstra's back on the map and getting so much buzz?
Yeah, and that's what we wanted. That's what this program deserved. Some national notoriety. And that's what comes with making it to the tournament. So I was very happy for myself, the program, the university, and the community. I mean, everywhere I went, that week leading up to the tournament, um, if it was a restaurant, I walked into standing ovations. I ate for free. So it was dope, man. It was a cool experience. I was just happy for the community.
One of the really unique parts about the CAA championship is how early it finishes compared to the rest of the country. So, what were
Yeah.
some of those days like leading up to Selection Sunday for the team and the rest of your staff?
Yeah,
Because
it's
you're trying to prepare, but you don't know who you're playing or where you're
yeah.
going to be.
It's funny you say that because I was talking with my staff and that was the debate. Do we like ending early and having our championship end on, Tuesday night, or would we rather be like Saturday night? You kind of just go right into the to selection Sunday. But we kind of liked how we ended early because you get time to kind of enjoy it. You get to enjoy it for a couple of days. It makes practice a little harder because you don't know who you're preparing for and you don't want anybody to get hurt. So you kind of like half practicing, because you still want your guys to be sharp. But I kind of like having a couple of days off and kind of just being able to, enjoy the moment.
Yeah, you definitely had that time to do so. And once Sunday hit, I see Hofstra, they're live at CBS Studios. You have the Hofstra entire campus community there for the selection show. But what were the emotions like for you when you see Hofstra appear on the broadcast for the first time in 25 years? What were those
Man,
emotions?
emotions were at an all-time high. To be able to have that experience on campus, with our fans, truly meant everything. And then finally to have our name, up on that board, like that's what you work all year for, man. And to be in that moment, it was tremendous.
It was pretty cool too, seeing you in that nice starter jacket as well with
Uh,
Hofstra. Got
that was
some
that was
good.
that was the big talk of that night. Everybody want that starter jacket.
I was gonna say if those had to be a hot seller after that because that was a great look. But once you found out and you saw your name in the selection show, your hands were immediately full with this Alabama squad.
Oh yeah.
What were the logistics like again once you knew that you were playing Alabama and again just trying to get ready for them leading up to that game on Friday in Tampa, but also the balance of making sure that the players really got to enjoy this entire experience.
It's definitely a balance because you want your guys to enjoy the moment, but then you're also there to play a game. Um, and it didn't matter who we were gonna face. We know it was gonna be a big test for us. We were gonna be the underdog, of course. So we drew Alabama, and we knew we're familiar with them, especially with Aaron Estrada going there. So we watched them a bunch of times. So we know their style of play. We know they were going to play fast, and so we just had to get our guys ready for that. But definitely wanted them to enjoy the moment and everything that comes with March Madness.
It wasn't half bad either that you got the draw to go play in Tampa, Florida as well, and having, the cold, very long winter up north and going down south. How pleased were you and the guys that when you took
I,
the trip down?
yes, I was extremely pleased because I did not want to go to Buffalo. That's actually where I went as a player when we went to the tournament. So I was actually praying for Tampa. So I was happy that's where they sent us.
That hurts my heart a little bit.
I didn't want to go to the West Coast, and I did not want to go to Buffalo.
Well, as a Buffalo native, I do understand that we were not at the top of a lot of people's wish lists. But when you guys got down to Tampa, one of the really cool parts that I saw was having Coach Joe Mahalik there. You were an assistant on his staff, and that 2020 team had their March Madness experience ripped away from them due to
Yeah.
COVID. How cool and the importance of having Coach be there with you guys down in Tampa.
It was very important because that's my biggest coaching mentor in this. So definitely wanted him by my side. Like you said, when we went in 2020, it kind of got ripped away from us. So I wanted him to get to experience going to the tournament from Hofstra. And that's why we asked him to come with us. And I'm grateful and thankful that he accepted our invitation.
Yeah, it was really cool to see him there. And once game day happened, you guys were in the thick of things against Alabama, down two at half. You had a great run in the first half, and we're down six, I believe, with like 9 minutes to go.
Yeah.
The final score didn't really indicate how close that game really
Not
was.
it's funny you said that, not at all, because we were down five with 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I looked up at the end of the game, we lost by 20. I'm like, yo, how did that happen? When did that happen? So the final score definitely didn't indicate the flow of the game. I think they kind of got hot towards the end, and they were able to pull away from us. But it was a game. We played them 35 minutes strong.
And to play those 35 minutes strong, what type of statement does that make to the rest of the country that, hey, Hofstra, mid-major, there's so much talk around, oh, mid-majors, they're not going to be able to compete and no more Cinderellas, but to be in the thick of it for most of that game?
I think we are well respected around the country. That's why it's so hard for us to schedule games. So I think there's certain mid majors that these high majors respect a little bit more than others.
When you look at this entire season, you finish 24 and 11. You have multiple ACC wins. You win another conference title, and you go to March Madness for the first time since the year I was born. What did this year mean, not just to you, but ultimately moving forward for this program and building on it for next season?
Yeah, this year was everything. Like I said, we were right in the thick of things pretty much every year that I've been the head coach, except for last season. Um, we weren't really a championship team, but um, every other year besides that, we were a championship level team. And we finally pushed through. So it meant so much to the program. I promised my AD Rick Cole that I would get him a championship. So I'm glad I was able to hold myself accountable and make that statement come true. But you know just being able to get to the tournament, this past season was truly great for the program.
Talking with some of the guys afterwards, and even for yourself now being able to have a little bit more time to reflect, what was your favorite moment from this entire experience?
I I would probably say when Preston made that buzzer beater shot against Towson to send us to the finals. Like once he made that shot, I was like, yeah, we're gonna win. We're gonna win this thing because at the ball just kept bouncing our way. Throughout the whole year. Every time we needed a big shot, we made a big shot. Or we needed a big play, we made a big play. So it's funny because the championship game day, it was a little different for me. I was very relaxed, and usually I'm not. Um, not just because it was a championship game, but on a regular game day, I'm just not relaxed, and I'm really focused, and I'm just really locked in. I'm just in my room. But that day, I was kind of like out and about. It was nice. It was nice out, and I kind of just hung out outside for a while. And usually I don't do that on a game day, but I don't know, I was very relaxed for some reason.
Yeah, well, all the stars certainly aligned for the Pride. Coach, we appreciate you taking the time here today. I'll let you go because, like you said before we got on the call, now it's portal season, and I'll let you get
Yeah,
back to
all
work.
the madness. All right, thank you.